Welcome, listeners. Sorry. Welcome, listeners, to a special spooky season episode of Better Than the Movie, the show where a bunch of booksellers get together and talk about movies and the books they're based on, or not really based on. We'll get to that. Today we have two very special guests to discuss Agatha Christie's Halloween Party and Kenneth Branagh's A Haunting in Venice. These guests are Natalie Freeman and Allison Smith. Woo! Natalie used to be one of the podcast producers and interviewers and stuff, and now what do you do with yourself?
Now I work at the zoo with a different kind of animal rather than a bookseller. So yes, I work at the zoo, but you can never leave books behind, so I also coordinate author events at the zoo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Zoo. What about you, Allison? What do you do?
I used to be at Skylight, and then I left, and now I edit books at Unnamed Press, and now I'm back here again, and I love it. So, thank you for having me.
Is that like press name redacted? Because you don't, or no, is it actually unnamed? No, it's actually.
Great joke
is Great joke. Opening it up. Hot joke. Hot joke.
I could see you like forming the joke too, and I was like, he's gonna say it for sure.
I was waiting for a silence. I'm coming in. Watch out! Clear some space. He's got to move. He's got to operate here. I also had one for you now. I missed it. I was gonna be like, who's more of an animal? But you kind of got it.
I did it. I did
because it was already there.
It didn't really fully formed.
I took it from you.
That was like a 25%.
All right, great. So I'm the wrangler. Speaking of animals, this episode actually has a fairly lengthy backstory because it was a year ago, Natalie, that you were at a used bookshop.
Yes.
And you found a bunch of paperbacks of Agatha Christie's Halloween Party.
Halloween Party, yes.
Because it has the apostrophe in it.
Yes.
Correct.
We cannot forget about the apostrophe. I was in Santa Barbara, and shout out to Paperback Alli in Santa Barbara if you are ever in that area, because whenever I leave my house in my circle of geography, I have to look for a used bookstore. So I was out there. They had a ton of Agatha paperbacks, the teeny tiny like mass markets, which usually I refuse to touch. I will not go near a mass market. But
why, it's super gross?
No, just like because they're usually like 400 pages, and that's just a shape I don't want to hold.
Fair enough.
I don't like the shape.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the shape. And I know that my J-man here loves the mysteries. And so I thought it would be fun to grab an old Agatha for us to book club. And so I grabbed Halloween Party because it was spooky season. And we read it a year ago, and I did not reread it for this podcast.
Nice. I listened to the audiobook because I was like, I remember what happens. But the thing that's funny is, like, in the last chapter, 17 things are revealed, which mostly I did not remember.
Yeah.
Well, I'll launch it off by saying I was not reminded of anything while watching this film.
Save it. Harness it.
That's the book. But I want to bring everyone up. There is this trailer that hit cinemas and is very spooky. It's like, it's like a haunted house movie. What is this? And then I was like, wait, is that Kenneth Branagh with his weird ass mustache?
It was.
It was, yeah.
Mustache.
I was trying to build some suspense, but
okay, let's calm it down on the stash here.
Yeah, calm down.
And then I was like, "Oh, crazy! There's a new Christie, and it's like a spooky season Christie. Great!" And then I looked up, and I was like, "Based on Halloween Party," and I was like, "That is not about a haunting. That does not take place in Venice." I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to play out. And so I forced all of you people to come to the movies together and watch it and have some thoughts, have some feelings. I did want to run down just a little bit of like whodunits we like to start off, and then also I rewatched the other Branagh Poirot films. We can talk a little bit about that before we dig into A Haunting in Venice and what it has done to the legacy of poor Agatha Christie. I mean, NPR liked it. They thought it's a great movie.
What do they know?
Is that true?
Yes. Oh my God, let me pull it up for you real quick.
Wow. Also, feeling like chopped liver, we and Tyler did not get introduced.
Wait, yeah, we are here on this episode.
Yeah,
well,
no, we have two guests, and so the co-hosts do
The
not.
big twist in A Haunting in Venice is it's actually a great film. Go fuck yourself.
Right? I saw that while you were looking for parking, and I was
Go
like, wow,
fuck
can't wait
Your
for
tax
Allison
dollars
to see
paid
that.
for that, Alan.
So-
How does that make you feel?
Pissed.
So should I punch in like I did it up top like a good host, or should I just?
No,
No.
let's leave it
It's
loose.
fine.
All right, great.
I-
So this is
We're
better
still
than the
here.
movie. I'm your co-host Justin Remer,
Alan Trailer.
Tyler Austin.
and yeah, we're here.
3 cool cats.
The coolest.
The coolest cats.
Hopefully, we'll
Can't be said
become the
enough.
bodice ripping boys at some point.
At one,
At some
you
point.
wait and see, listeners. This
Yeah,
was
you
my.
said too much, Justin.
I have been waiting to gather the bodice ripping boys since before I left. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to build the mythology, trying to build the
Yeah.
universe.
We'll make
that's
it happen.
Yeah,
You'll get here.
better
You'll
than
get
the
here.
movie
Okay.
universe. Hey, Allison, do you have any whodunits you like? Movies or books or both?
Oh my God. Natalie and I were just talking about The Illusionist. It's one of
We
my
wanna- Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies ever, and it's basically a whodunit, but he uses magic.
It's not murder. It's magic.
It's magic and murder.
There is murder.
There
Yes.
is murder, or suicide, or magic.
What? I haven't seen that movie. No,
Are you
I won't.
serious?
You
haven't-
ruined it.
What?
You haven't seen?
You haven't
No,
seen The Illusionist?
In the
Edward
Great
Norton.
Prestige
Are you kidding me?
Illusionist battles,
No.
I saw
No.
Prestige.
Oh.
No,
You always
The
gotta
Illusionist.
watch both, man.
Paul Giamatti is an investigator.
The second it ended, I started rewatching it because I had
Yes.
missed every single thing that happened. And when it was unveiled, I could not handle it.
You have to watch it so you can just hear someone introduce Edward Norton as Eisenheim. the
Yeah,
illusionist.
Denise.
I do like that
Eisenheim.
movie. Yeah.
Good.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
my
well, I guess I'm
favorite one
adding that
comes
to my list.
Add it to the
Add it
list.
to the list.
Is it spooky at all? What if it's
it's
spooky?
It's
season?
eerie. Yeah.
It has like a
I don't remember
sepia
it being
tone over
spooky.
it.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have the dark tone of the Prestige.
There is a moment kind of near the end when he gets a little depressed and he starts calling the dark spirits of behind the veil to kind of help him
Oh, who hasn't?
see the
I mean,
ghost of his lover.
It's a Friday night, am I right?
And
Tuesday, I'm lucky.
there's spookiness in it. I think
Okay.
it's
Is-
a great Halloween
Is it
movie.
darker or lighter than Doctor Strange 2?
It's in Vienna in like around the turn
Yeah.
of the century. It's all in this like
So
warm
lighter,
sepia
okay.
tone.
yeah.
I guess lighter, but like more serious and more interesting and better.
Oh.
Like,
Is
that's
there a
fire.
multiverse?
Shots fired.
How many multiverses?
Anyway,
I think there's just
Yeah, is there
one.
just one universe
Just
of
one
madness? Is
universe?
there, huh? Come on.
I think there's many multiverses.
What about any of
I don't even
you
have time
guys?
to go into what
my
you just
supposed
said.
co-host. Do you have any whodunits you wanted to big up right now?
I got a top 3 of my favorites.
You got top 3?
I got a top 3.
Let's hear it.
I got at number 3, Brick.
yeah,
Love that fucking
yeah.
movie.
Great one.
I got Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Scarred the shit out of me as a kid.
nice.
And the ultimate, obviously, Clue.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Flames?
Flames.
Side of my face? Classic.
Classic.
I wanted to throw out a Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects. I'm not going Gone Girl. I'm going Sharp Objects.
It's a real cool girl movie, you.
Fuck off. No.
See, it's not just me that has it against
no.
Tyler. Hey.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining book and also a very well done television adaptation.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Is that the Amy Adams one? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very, very good. And was it? I think it's Jean-Marc Vallée, because it was like a
Oh,
Reese
the
Witherspoon
Dallas
thing. I
Buyers
think.
Club director.
Yeah, who passed away recently too.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, it's fine.
What?
Hey, it's fine.
Don't just point.
Don't just
It's like a
fire.
leaning tower.
the wall-
Oh
Was it
yeah,
a
no, I saw
spirit?
that.
Oh, okay.
No, I saw it when
Oh
I
no!
walked
See,
in.
it's caught on the edge of that. It won't fall.
You
on us.
always think
Sure.
it's caught, but
While
I've
we're
had
here.
so many of those towers fall on me. Scars.
By the way,
It'll
I pointed
just
so
break
that we
everything on that
wouldn't
desk.
Have to take out all
have to talk about it. Damn it.
It feels spooky.
But yeah, and
Oh,
then it is spooky. Spooky. Is someone pushing it?
Right. Are we in the back of a haunted bookstore?
Yes. And I did also want to throw out a fun one, which is the $1,000 Tan Line, which is a novelization sequel to Veronica Mars.
Yes.
You're telling me that you haven't read the 2 Veronica Mars novelizations written by Rob Thomas?
No.
You haven't?
I did not know they existed.
Oh, wow. Get ready to have a great time. Kristen
Okay.
Bell reads one of the audiobooks, but not the second.
Oh, well.
But
I'll listen to one of them. I
Listen
guess.
to one, read the other, but super fun, have like the same energy as the show, but a very fun whodunit.
Huh.
Oh, speaking of audiobooks, I want to jump ahead. Did you listen to the audiobook of Halloween Party?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
That's what I was going
Not
to say.
Stephen
Hugh
Fry.
Fraser,
No, yeah.
who does the 2002 production of
Yeah.
Halloween, he does great voices.
He does
Oh,
fantastic
I'm Mary
voices.
Anthony Oliver. Oh, it's great.
Well, it's a little bit better than that.
Wow.
You got the flavor.
And supposedly in October, Kenneth Branagh has got his audiobook version coming out. But I listened to Kenneth Branagh's audiobook of Death on the Nile. Well, I listened to 10 minutes of Kenneth Branagh's audiobook of Death on the Nile, and I was like, he is low energy. I don't know that I can do this. So
I didn't know he
what
had
I'm saying
that mode,
is,
to be honest.
caveat emptor, stick with the Hugh Fraser Halloween Party if audiobooks is your bag.
Yeah.
But, all right, so here's my run of Kenneth Branagh thoughts.
Yeah.
Wait, can I do my whodunits?
Oh, yeah.
We're just
Because
No,
he
move
said
on.
something, and then they said something. You didn't...
Oh, can I also add like an honorable mention
Yeah,
before
please.
Tyler?
Get in there before Tyler,
done
for
it.
sure.
Dick Tracy, of course.
Oh yeah.
Is that a whodunit?
It's kind of a whodunit.
All right, sure.
Yeah,
it's
do
a
you
good
know
movie.
at the end
Yeah.
who's got the blank face?
Oh,
yeah,
all
you don't know that
come on,
at the
bro.
start.
Sure. All
Not
right.
me.
Yeah, all right.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What
Go
you
ahead,
got?
cool cat.
Go ahead. I think
Go,
your entire
cool
list
cat.
is bullshit.
No,
but
go
that's
ahead.
fine.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say...
You trying to tell me you don't love Brick?
Oh, no, Brick's great.
Okay, then.
Brick's obviously great. Well, I was going to say the one that I've most recently seen that I really enjoyed that I think a lot of people would see a lot of similarities to another more recent whodunit is Last of Sheila, which is a film from the 70s, which is a lot of fun. It's about... Stop me if you've heard about it. There's a lot of rich assholes are on a boat, and then there's a game that breaks out, and then one of them dies.
Death on the Nile.
Kind of. Also, just like a little bit like Glass Onion. It's a direct. I think.
Well, yeah,
like
Glass
Ryan
Onion is
Johnson,
riffing on Last of Sheila.
very specifically
Yeah.
to the point. I think Ryan Johnson has tweeted about it several times, being like, "This was a complete inspiration for it." It's really good. James Coburn, Tony Perkins wrote it with Stephen Sondheim, which is kind of insane. But they would, I guess, do like very elaborate like games throughout New York City that they would set up with like clues and things for people to figure out. And then they're like, "What if we wrote a whodunit?" And it's really good. James Mason's incredible in this movie. Who's the lady who's so good in
Diane
it?
Cannon.
Diane Cannon is incredible, basically playing
The lady that's so good.
a Sue Mengers type. If you stop me if you know who Sue Mengers is.
Little
Yeah, remember her
Hollywood,
name.
little
She was-
inside Hollywood
She's
situation.
incredible. She's so good. I would just think of her as Cary Grant's longtime lover. And that, only that phrase.
You mean besides Randolph Scott?
Whoa. And LSD. And LSD. The man loved LSD.
He
Well,
did
that's
love
everyone's-
LSD.
everyone's
Cary
first
Grant
love.
loves him some
LSD.
LSD.
Yeah. Anyways, great movie. Also, Murder, She Wrote. Shout out to Alex who works here.
Hey.
Aw,
Murder, She Wrote
love
is
Alex.
genuinely always a great whodunit.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And Jessica Fletcher rules. She's maybe she's killing people in Cabot Cove, maybe not. We don't know. It's fine.
Wow.
Yeah. Columbo.
This
Well, I was gonna say, I was like,
I'm
you
more
love
of a-
Columbo.
That's true. I am more of a Columbo.
Pushing Daisy.
This gives me a side thought. There's a adaptation of Agatha Christie's The Mirror Cracked, which is a Miss Marple, where Angela Lansbury plays Miss Marple, but it's a weird one, and I don't know why. If you were like, let's make a Miss Marple, you would pick this one because it's one where she's sick and her nephew does most of the detecting. So it's like you've got Angela Lansbury above the title as Miss Marple, and most of the time she's sick, and Edward Fox as her nephew is like doing the detecting, and then comes back, and then she's like, very interesting.
Good job, good job. Well, this also reminds me of a very specific season of Murder, She Wrote, where, like, she had, Angela Lansbury signed a 5-year contract. After 5 years, she's like, this really takes a lot of work. I'm really tired. And they're like, what if which get that money, Angela, make it rain all over Lansbury Manor.
It's getting weird.
So she was like, what if I just take 9 episodes basically off? Where they're like, you come in, you just say like, hi, I'm Jessica Fletcher. Do you know my good friend Bill? Let me show you him. And then the whole episode's about Bill. Wow. And then she comes in at the end and goes, wasn't that a good story? And then she signed on. Wasn't that fun? And then she signed on for a lot more money for the last 6 seasons.
Yep.
And God bless her for that. I think it's great.
Yeah.
That's business.
That's business.
That's business, baby.
That's Hollywood.
It sounds like that Helen Mirren documentary Now Money.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Just coming in, introducing a show, and then at the end saying, now wasn't that fantastic?
I also feel like Helen Mirren doesn't say no to anything.
No. If you're in a Fast and Furious movie, you say no to nothing.
That is, I can't really argue with that.
You can't, can you?
Yeah.
Surprised they don't have Samuel L. Jackson. He never says no. They'll get him.
He's on the list.
They'll get him.
He's coming.
That's a
He's coming.
definite
He'll be there.
They'll get him.
Okay, cool. I'm looking at the time. So
What are we here to talk about?
So Kenneth Branagh.
This was a
Yeah, and I was
terrible
like,
idea.
this is going to be a side tangent, but we've had 17 already.
Yeah.
So Kenneth Branagh, this week I caught up on many of his whodunit directorial efforts, the Poirots, but also his first non-Shakespeare directing effort, Dead Again, written by Scott Frank, who wrote the movie versions of Get Shorty and Out of Sight, which I'm sure we've all seen, because we watched it like 2 nights ago.
We did.
Indeed, we did.
But this was like Scott Frank's first real script. Like I read an interview with him. He's like, I wrote something before, but I didn't know how to write. But this is the first one where someone came in and was like, this is how you make a script. Anyhow, so Branagh directed that. He stars in it with Emma Thompson. They both do very questionable American accents because it's set in L.A. But then it involves like past lives, and in a past life, she's British, great, gets to talk like herself, and he's German, Austrian, something. So he gets 2 questionable accents in this film.
He loves accents.
But it's great. It's a great kind of potboiler, noirish, Hitchcock almost vibe about like, did he kill her in his past life, and is he going to kill her again in this life, kind of thing. Robin Williams has a great sort of like 2-scene role as a guy who's like, yeah, past lives are a thing, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And
his name was L. Ron Hubbard.
And Derek Jacobi. Just gonna let that lay there for a second. And Derek Jacobi,
You said it was in L.A.
who's from like I, Claudius and his pals with Branagh. He plays a hypnotist in Dead Again. But I wanted to name check him specifically because then I watched the Poirots, Murder on the Orient Express 2017 and Death on the Nile 2022 or 20. What you know what years they came out? The recent ones. Anyhow,
Justin's head is spinning around.
Derek Jacobi is the VIP of Murder on the Orient Express. He's like the good actor in that movie. I mean, Willem Dafoe's a great. Like they're all good. Daisy Ridley's really good, but like he's the one who's like, oh, you can act a scene, whereas everyone else is like very broadly like
I'm here.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's Willem Dafoe in?
He's in Murder on the Orient Express.
I don't remember that.
Exactly.
I don't remember
He plays
that.
a guy pretending to be another guy, and like literally when Poirot's like, "You're faking it," he's like, "You got me." Like,
Whoa.
Damn.
I could
Pretty good
rewatch
Defoe.
it.
Yeah.
Pretty good Defoe.
God.
Yeah. Kind of split into
I'm
gobble.
in acid impressions. I think you know this, and I don't know why you're making fun of me.
I'm not. I'm truly not. That was a good Defoe.
Oh, okay.
But now I'm questioning myself. Maybe it wasn't.
But yeah, Murder on the Orient Express, the first time I saw it, I thought was super boring. rewatching it, maybe just because I know what was going to happen, it's like, this wasn't so boring. I enjoyed that. Then I watched Death on the Nile, and that was super boring, and I don't think anything will ever save it.
But there's so much champagne.
Yeah, there's enough champagne to fill the Nile, for sure.
True.
But there's just also the cast is cursed. We don't need to get into it, but Death on the Nile was not a promising
Allan.
second film.
Alan.
Pretend I'm a dummy.
We're not going to talk
Okay,
about it.
okay.
A guy eats a guy, you know? You gotta move
You
past
gotta call a curse a curse.
Imagine. Never mind.
So
don't imagine.
I literally have an entire list of why I think that movie is absolute garbage. If you want me to run it
Yes,
down for you,
please.
And which
I've
may
never seen it, so I'd
also
like to know.
color my thoughts about the film we watched for this podcast.
Oh, but also I did text you guys when I watched it. It does open with this
De-aging.
flashback
Yeah.
that has just the worst de-aging CGI I've ever seen.
do have
His
a
face freaking wobbles. It's just yeah, but I think you should run down your list.
Tell me why I should not watch
Everything
it.
about Death on the Nile is absolutely absurd. I mean, honestly, maybe watch it just because it's so bad. Like it is.
Well,
like
didn't you say that there was? Oh, you were watching something else. Where are they available to stream or no?
Death on the Nile, I think, is on Hulu
it's
right
on
now.
Right now.
Hulu.
Yeah.
But
And
I
it's sort of-
did have to
Do you want to feel like
make
insane?
some ways to
I have
see
a
some
movie
other
for you.
things.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Let's hear it.
Sign me up.
So it begins again with a flashback, the thing that all Poirot movies should start with. It begins with a literal origin story for his mustache. Have you ever wondered?
Which on October 31st, 1914, it is Halloween.
It is Halloween. Yeah,
For
all
no
these
good
movies
reason.
are taking place on Halloween for some reason. Well, except for The Express, I don't think. But the last two are Halloween pictures for some reason. When he gets his mustache is October 31st.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No, that's what I'm talking about. The
Maybe
flashback
that-
they
Oh,
put
good
on the
Lord.
screen, October 31st, 1914.
Maybe that was
Christ
the
in heaven.
Easter egg letting people know that this would be the next film in this franchise.
That does make
Years
sense.
later.
They're calling their shot. Yeah, I
Wow.
get it. So it starts with a horribly de-aged Kenneth Branagh. There's like a fake out where you see a guy with a mustache and you're like, is this supposed to be him? And then they cut to young looking de-aged Kenneth Branagh, Uncanny Valley, and then you're like, no, but he's gonna get a face wound right under his nose and above his lip where a mustache would fit perfectly. Because everybody has to have a haunted backstory. Otherwise, how could we possibly relate to the world's greatest detective if he wasn't sad?
Oh, yeah.
Now that I know
It's
the mustache
scarred.
story,
That
I
was something I
respect
was
it
going
a
to
lot
say.
more.
Is like
so.
there was that stretch where Branagh was playing Wallander for the BBC, which is like this dark Norwegian or Scandinavian at least detective story, and it feels like he was just like, oh well, all detectives have to be like dark and haunted, and no, they
Need a
don't.
deep backstory.
They can just be silly mustache wearing.
Poirot's a man of fashion.
Yeah.
A man, yeah, he's like
mustache is
vain.
not-
Like it's missing out on the point that he's just like a vain fancy boy.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And then like his nurse girlfriend like is like, you could grow a mustache, and then she dies in a bombing. I want to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
And
they
to
set
give
up
him-
in the Murder on the Orient Express movie, and they're like, we're gonna pay this off in Death on the Nile. Guess what? She died.
She's
Oh.
dead. So, because he's got to be sad and be open to falling in love again. Because that's the point of this movie. Why solve a murder if at the end he doesn't go to a dance hall to meet up with a lady?
I have a question.
Hit me.
You guys have mustache abilities.
Yes.
I do not. If you get a scar above your lip, does the hair still grow? Would
I don't
that
think
That's
so.
that's the thing. Yeah, I don't think it would
I
go
don't think
across
it
the
would
scar
even
tissue.
grow.
It is like quite a.
It's
I mean,
like
if it's
messed
a
up-
giant, you
Yeah.
do like a mustache comb over,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah.
But the way his mustache is so full and like he like curls it basically.
He's got those
Yeah.
like
It
double
looks like
little
two mustaches
tears.
on top of
Wait,
each
are
other.
you saying that it's
Yeah.
implausible?
Yeah,
It is highly implausible.
I am.
And maybe even something that, like, if Agatha Christie thought of it, she'd be like, nah.
No,
That's
don't need
dumb.
it. Not
Don't need it.
important. Why would anyone care about this? Turns out we don't.
She'd be like, he
Sushi
dyes
is
it
fine.
black on purpose. Like,
What more
just
do you need?
other absurd things. Gal Gadot and Emma Mackey from Sex Education are meant to be childhood best friends, well, with an 11-year age gap between them.
For sure.
That's
Makes
doable,
perfect sense. They're both like,
Plausible.
and we were at school together, and she stole my play in my part in the play, and you're like,
Cool.
sure, of course, yeah.
I don't believe Gal Gadot has friends.
No. Oh yeah. I mean, also Gal Gadot is in this movie with with other people who we don't want to talk about.
Which ones?
Alan wants
I
to
can run
know.
down for you. You want to?
No. We're already derailed now.
I mean, there is a moment where
Derail.
a certain person.
I didn't even. I'm such a genius. I didn't even mean to say that. Sorry, continue.
Good teacher. They do have multiple scenes of people freaking it on the dance floor for some reason.
In what year?
19 in between World War I and II.
Well, that's the thing.
That's
so
prime
so
freaking
it's
time.
so I-
Freak.
They are
it's
going
set in
for it.
37,
37.
and all the like needle drops in that movie are at least 5 to 15 years later, and I'm like, these people are like, they have the power of second sight because they know all these songs that are not out yet.
It's a lot of people going, it's your cousin Marvin? Barry? Yeah, and they're
It's
like,
your sister Rosetta Tharpe.
You're gonna love this new sound. Yeah, it's a lot of that.
Some blues fans are really gonna like that
The
joke.
CGI in that film is truly. It looks like they 80% rendered it, and then we're just like, okay, shoot it. Let's let it go. It's gotta go. People carry over from the first movie, who then have to. I don't understand it at all.
People besides Poirot?
Yeah, because they're like, we have to build out the Poirot cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't bring
Do
a
you
friend
remember
with him
like
from the first movie,
the guy who gets him on the Orient Express? He's also on this
turns
boat.
out he's his best friend. They get along.
Is that the guy who pushed people into the river in our movie?
No.
No, they stopped.
All right,
that,
so
actually.
here's the moment where we'll just say this entire episode is spoilers top to bottom.
Yeah.
No, that
Late
fucking
for
guy
that.
dies in Death on the Nile.
Yeah, they
He's not
kill
around.
him. They kill his friend in front of him.
Wait, sorry, and then so what year is Death on the Nile?
37,
And then this movie is
47.
47, Haunting in
So it's
Venice.
been
Is
10
supposed to be
years.
10 years later.
And this
the
dead
film was
man is
released
now
1
alive?
year later.
And the dead man is now alive?
No, he's still dead indefinitely. He dies indefinitely now, and then he doesn't. They don't carry anybody over.
Oh, we're talking about different friends. I
Yeah,
thought,
this is Death of
okay,
the Nile.
Okay.
Yeah, this is why Death of the Nile is so bad.
Well, here's something I noticed too watching Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile back to back. Is he's got more salt and pepper in Murder on the Orient Express than the movie that's supposed to take place like 6 months later.
Well, maybe he's dyeing his hair like he does in the books.
Yeah.
Where he tries to look younger than he is.
Yeah.
To,
If
You
his
can
best
control
friend
it.
had maybe made a funny joke about it, I would buy it. But instead, I'm just like, we hired new makeup and hair people who don't know.
Continuity. What's
that?
They
What
fired
did
the
we do?
ones from before because they figured scar tissue, hair can't grow out of that. You're fired.
You're
fired.
You're fired. You should have told us that
If
before
at
we
the
made that
end of
decision.
this movie, they literally just he popped his mustache off, it'd be incredible. That would be fine. It's like,
yeah.
and then I gotta put this new one on.
Yeah.
And then it's there's Velcro
Yeah.
under there. That would have been great.
That rules.
Also, Death on the Nile is 2 hours and 7 minutes long.
No.
It's insane.
It's a long river.
It's-
Honestly, and the
true.
problem is like some of the Christies,
Way to go.
some of the Christies, the murders happen quick. Like in the book Halloween Party, like murder happens in like chapter 2, or actually between chapter 1 and 2. But that's
Gotta get that
splitting
filthy
hairs.
liar out of there, man.
Get that filthy little liar out of here.
And I think
can't wait
like
to talk
Murder on the
about her.
Orient Express, it's like in Screen Oriented Turns, it's the end of Act 1. But like Death on the Nile, half the movie before anybody dies.
That's too
Actually,
long.
if you watch the second half of Death on the Nile, it's probably good because it's just
It's a whodunit.
It's the
just the
actual
whodunit
movie,
part.
yeah.
Instead of the look at all these funny rich people.
Doing
Like, why are
bits.
French and Saunders even there? Anyhow, French and Saunders, British sketch
No.
duo. They're a lot of fun. Okay, great.
No Fry and Laurie.
And so I've seen the Ustinov Death on the Nile, which is actually kind of good because it's the 70s and there were no rules about we can't shoot people just being on real pyramids, so it's kind of insane to see how you're this would never be allowed anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's why they did it all in CGI and it looks bad, but it's at least that holds your attention because you're looking at a real thing
Yeah.
in front of a camera as opposed to just we're in a parking lot in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And isn't it beautiful?
It's movie magic, man. It is beautiful.
So,
Magic.
so apparently,
Movie
Death
magic.
on the Nile cost $90 million to
What?
make, which probably went to the cast, I guess, which is why they're let's do something in one location with half a famous person, Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh, but And
we announced the spoilers, right?
yeah, spoilers all the way.
First to die, I mean bullshit. So let everybody else live, whatever. And she wasn't even a filthy little liar child. She was a
told
grown
some
adult
tales.
woman.
They gave her the name of the filthy little liar child from the book, but
if the filthy
I got
little liar
beef.
grew up, became a con artist.
So
She wouldn't be as cool as that little girl wearing a
That is
bumblebee
true.
outfit.
That is
Got around in a
How do we want to
apple.
parse this weird disconnect between the book and the movie, because they didn't even take the name of Halloween Party, so it's very odd that they're even like based on Halloween Party.
Yeah.
They
has to
weren't.
be like some
It wasn't
contractual
even
red
a
tape
Halloween party that they were at. They went to a séance.
Yeah.
Well, it starts as a Halloween
Well, the
party,
kids have
and
a
there's
Halloween
seance
party.
after.
That wasn't even really a party because they just like ran around.
It was just
Sure.
like a haunted like.
It's just
little
like they were like, let's
thing.
take a tour of this haunted palazzo that no one can leave. And then the kids all left. They showed them a scary movie. It was so weird the way that guy
Children's
like
Vendetta.
roped down to like pull the screen taut. That was just weird. And then I did appreciate the Hans Christian Andersen-esque cutout movie
Yeah.
that they did.
Oh yeah,
Shadow
the little
play.
Yeah, the shadow play.
mummies, shadow puppets. Okay,
disturbing, too.
so
Yeah,
I don't know,
think-
Tyler. Do you want to just, because we're going to be talking about a lot of things, do you want to just quickly run down the plot of the movie, so that way when we say random things, it will make sense to listeners who maybe ill-advisedly are continuing down this path with us.
Wait,
Yeah.
movie or
Or
book?
book or both?
Movie.
The movie.
Movie?
Yeah, we're going to hash out the movie.
Okay.
Because
And then
we're sort of on a movie path right
guess
now,
that's-
and then
okay,
we'll
okay,
start
alright, that
talking
makes
book. We'll talk BBC adaptation of book. We'll go down that road.
Okay.
So please do.
A Haunting in Venice.
A Haunting in Venice, 1947.
We began in media res.
Hercule Poirot.
I don't think we do actually.
I know. Retired.
like
and
saying
that's
that.
like a 50
I just like saying that.
Most of these usually. Wow.
He's
Yeah, it
eating.
does sound
Does he have? He doesn't have a little case he solves at the beginning because he is
Retired.
He's retired.
But we start with Chekhov's gull.
That's
Chekhov's
good.
water.
Oh,
fountain.
then we do
Yeah.
begin with
We
the
do begin.
nightmare.
Yes.
Really,
I was
that
right. Sorry.
Well, it's not really. Alright, anyways.
Go.
We're in Venice and there's a haunting. Basically, Poirot.
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 Hercule
Now retired.
Poirot.
He is sick of solving
So sorry,
murder.
French people. So sorry.
It's fine.
And the people, they line up outside his house.
Yeah, so here's really, it's post World War II. Europe has been thrown into the
boy.
Oh, such a
recovering.
Oh
An
no.
evocative time
Fascism
and
is
place.
falling across of Europe. So he is no longer wanting to solve murders. He's visited by an old friend, Ariadne, who's played by Tina Fey.
A
who's
really
like
believable character. Yeah.
basically, it is interesting because she's playing an Agatha Christie stand-in in an Agatha Christie thing, which is kind of like she's a mystery writer who's like Poirot's good old friend who only eats apples, and
which they give like lip service to in the movie, and I was like, why even do that? Because it becomes irrelevant very quickly.
Yeah.
But I guess just because Ariadne is in a bunch of books,
It's a bunch
so
of
if you're
books.
at all a Christie head, you'd be like,
we want her to
like apples.
we want her to only eat apples before dinner.
I was going to
That's-
say,
that's
that's,
her great
an
line.
important neat detail.
It is like a
Only
interesting-
apples till dinner.
It's kind of an interesting diet. Actually, she's on that apple diet. She's like, I got a thing for you to solve. It's not necessarily a murder. There's actually this woman who does seances, and I don't understand how she does it. Can you come out of retirement to prove her wrong? They go to.
Does she already say like I might write a book about her because my
Yeah,
past 3
I think
books have
so.
tanked
Yes,
or whatever?
Yeah.
I think
Every
Yeah.
scene she's in,
She's like,
mentions
my
writing.
She
my
needs
last
a
three
hit.
books have tanked, and I
She
need
needs a
help.
hit.
And it's all because of reviewers. It's not
These
because of the story.
Evil critics.
Fucking Yelp.
Who-
man.
So he decides to tag along to a Halloween party in a haunted palazzo, where we meet
Venezia.
Rowena Drake, played by Kelly Riley, whose daughter is dead and wants to contact her with a bunch of other people. They do the seance. It's convincing.
Well, let's name off some of the things. You got the like haunted doctor.
Yes, haunted
And
doctor who cared for her and is a World War II vet who has a son who takes care of him.
Creepy.
Shell-shocked pop.
Creepy little son.
Precocious talented Mr. Ripley in training son.
Who carries his pills for him.
Yes.
And doles out his medicine.
Am I wrong in, I don't know if it was clear enough, or maybe I filled it in, but did he witness a concentration camp?
He did. He did
say that. He was part of
the
doctor
force.
Yeah, he was evacuating a concentration camp.
Clearly didn't stick with
and
me.
in trying to help them, he's killed a lot of people. Yeah, he was like giving them milk and destroyed them.
Like, he's the most tragic character.
He really, truly is. Yeah,
he's so messed up.
Yeah, because he like comes back from the war, doesn't see any patients. Rowena Drake's like, my daughter's going through this insane illness, and then she dies, and he obviously feels more responsible. Yeah. Especially since they told him you should not practice. Yeah, you should stop. You should stop.
Your small little son is.
And he's like, "Let me do your favor."
Oh, your 9-year-old son, it will later be revealed, is better at understanding the symptoms than you are. Yeah. Who else is there? There's the two.
But just real quick, the doctor is played by Christian Grey, right? Mr. Jamie Dornan. And the kid is from Belfast.
I think they're both technically from Belfast. Yeah. Actually, as well.
I didn't see Belfast.
Dornan's in Belfast too.
I don't like Oscar winners.
Yeah. The child is also
and the child is a
Belfast
boy. Okay.
I kid.
The Belfast boy.
Hey, let's write a hit. Let's write a song live.
You heard it here first.
Instead of Galway Girl.
Belfast boy. No, that's the.
It's got a picture.
Okay, we gotta.
Okay.
No, we're gonna be here for 4 hours. There's
Michelle Yeoh's
her like ex-boyfriend.
Her ex-boyfriend, who's a chef who wants to marry a rich person. He comes back because he gets invited. They're the two assistants of Michelle Yeoh who are obsessed with Meet Me in St. Louis. Who are
revealed after like Poirot is like, oh yeah, this seance is bullshit. There's 2 people over there.
Oh yeah. Who's helping her? Yeah, exactly.
There's a man in
he's got like
fireplace.
A magnet type writer. Anyways, who else is? And then Oliver.
I don't remember her name, but the housekeeper.
Oh, housekeeper lady.
I saw her most recently in the last season of Killing Eve, which she was great in. But like, I thought she fit best in this film.
Yeah, she was good in this.
That she was just doing her part, and that was what was required of her. Mm-hmm. But she fit. She wasn't doing a weird accent. She wasn't an American.
Was she not doing a weird accent?
She was doing like a Central European accent.
Yeah, but is that her?
But we don't know. Yeah, we don't know that
she did
that's
something
bad.
similar in Killing Eve.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like, isn't also Dornan like not doing? Is he doing like his accent?
Let's not get into it.
Okay, all right. Anyways, who
cares?
Any of us remember that movie well enough?
No.
I think that's everybody who was at the party, right? Oh, and then like Poirot's bodyguard.
He was hot.
Yeah.
Who? Cool guy.
Hot Italian cop.
Hot
Italian.
Hot ex-cop.
Hot cop.
Yeah.
Man.
Hot cop.
Hot smoky cop. That's true. And he gave up being a cop, so we don't have to A-cap him. Which
exactly.
Is very nice.
So I'll jump in a little bit.
In my notes,
they
I call
do a
him
seance
Alfred.
at the spooky seance.
From Batman.
Michelle Yeoh's medium, whose name is Joyce Reynolds.
Yep.
Filthy little liar girl.
There's a better Joyce Reynolds in literature, but we'll get into that. At the seance, she's like, "Oh, you were killed? Oh, I think I can see who killed you," or whatever. Mm-hmm.
And then they definitely play it both ways, where you're like, "Is Michelle Yeoh bullshitting or not?" And then at a certain point, you're like, "She's definitely bullshitting." Is it like
what was that show like? Shut Eyes? Like, oh, can you really see? But just uses it as a scam too. Right. Maybe that's not what Shut Eye's about. There's definitely something like that where it's like
Psych maybe.
The Frighteners. That's basically is like I can speak to ghosts, but also I'm scamming you.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so whoever is responsible for the death of the girl kills Michelle Yeoh, throws her out a window,
right?
And she lands with like a statue.
She gets skewered.
She gets skewered by a full-on hand, by an arm.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even out the window. It was just like into the foyer.
Yes. Off the foyer.
Off the foyer.
Yeah. So then beautiful dive. Oh, there's a big storm. So then, because it's Venice and Venice is sinking. So they can't leave the palazzo. They lock the doors.
But also, like Poirot is like, all right, one of you did it. It's got to be someone in this house.
I've been in this situation before. Let me work.
He's like, even though the book takes place over like a week or so, this has got to be one night. We got less money than the last movie. Let's do this.
Oh boy, what a miracle that this thing got made, honestly. Yeah, all right, fair enough. And anyways, He parses some clues.
Yeah, he starts hallucinating.
Oh yeah.
Is he hallucinating or is he really seeing a ghost girl?
Right, because there is a whole thing about this palazzo was like
I did lead with he's hallucinating, so he's a hallucinating.
He might be hallucinating actually, but it was like a children's orphanage where they let kids die during the plague or something.
Truly doesn't matter.
And
No,
so
The children's vendetta.
The children's vendetta. Yeah.
Against
There's like a
doctors
mark-
and nurses.
He was a nurse during the war.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Thus, they will be killed.
You missed a very important part, which was Baba the rabbit.
Baba.
Yes, Baba.
Baba. Oh yes, plays a huge part of the seance.
Yeah. The Foley work on Baba's noise was incredible. Best part of the film, honestly.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty much it.
So that's the plot
You've
of the
seen
thing.
a locked room mystery, folks.
Start batting around the old picture. So we got Baba the rabbit, clearly the star.
He absolutely was.
The plot here involves honey.
Oh, you're gonna call it a plot?
Yeah, very loose plot.
I mean, yeah. So Poirot does what he does, and he just goes around and he's like, "So how did you know the dead girl?" And
he gets to the bottom of things.
Yeah, he interviews like two people, trips on some like fucked up honey, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here's what happened." And you're like, "Oh."
Okay,
Someone else gets murdered.
The second you walk into a haunted palazzo, right? And you're surrounded by classic art and it's dark and the curtains are heavy and blocking out all the light and you're freaking out and it's a storm and the lady of the house offers you a cup of tea. You never take the cup of tea when like ghosts are about and you know, murdered children exist in this
and when
building.
Tina Fey says, "I found this honey in the closet."
Yeah, and she's like, "Chinky."
We were out of
The linen closet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so the second you're offered a cup of tea in a gothic atmosphere, just know it's been spiked, and that is going to be the crux of everything is this cup of tea.
And if you
Just
start
really
seeing
good
ghost
life
dogs,
advice.
like you're in the wrong history.
Yeah, if you don't believe in ghosts and you start hearing like little whispers of little girls in the back of your mind, you know, double check the linen cupboard, honey.
But they definitely try to play it both ways at the very end.
Well, that's, I think, a fun little, like, Branagh Poirot kind of character study bit. It's like how he's trying to break down and add nuance to this very, like, strict character of I make my lists and I have my methods and that's what I stick to. He's kind of trying to add this, like, weird, emotional kind of nuance to him where it's like, ooh, does he believe
Maybe.
now more? Is he healing somehow through his murder cases?
Yeah. They kind of imply that, yes.
Yeah. And then he like has a whole
back.
new by the end he's like, I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
I don't need these
God
these
is
war
real and I'm
rationed
the
eggs."
best. Let's fucking go.
back.
You guys, I just remembered. I'll see you soon, Dad.
Oh, I was waiting for that. The most haunting last lines. Fucking.
Soon, Dad.
Oh, we forgot about the bird. There's a bird.
He
in
said,
the
yeah,
movie.
Chekhov's skull in the morning.
No, the cockatoo
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, the
which is a lot of fun,
cockatoo
yeah.
also.
that belonged to the dead girl
That only talks with her.
that only
Yeah,
talked
it
with
stopped
her.
talking.
It was sad. I
stopped
thought that the bird was gonna have more of a role, but the bird doesn't.
I thought a
do it.
lot of
they
things
set
would have more
that
of a role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
'cause,
characters
you would
in the
think,
book?
like, oh, well, I'm sure Agatha Christie worked out this plot. Oh, no, it was just Michael Green, the guy who wrote the last two scripts, and was
Yeah.
like, I can do this. I got it.
Mysteries and mysteries.
One of the killers would still be the same,
I
but
am curious. Did any of the spooky stuff get you at all? Because I will say, the climactic appearance of the ghost, which is it a ghost? Is it still he's hallucinating? That did get me.
What ghost?
Not so
at the
like,
very end when she's like hovering.
like when he's confronting Rowena Drake the killer,
Oh, and she's behind
and
him.
like there's a
And then
ghost
she gets,
behind
like,
her
grabbed.
that like pulls her off.
Oh.
That's fun.
I was like, I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty good.
I was
I
having
don't know
too
if I'd
much
say it's pretty
fun
good.
watching it and,
Yeah.
and kind of
I had-
giggling at it.
Because I was gonna say, like, the moment that they're clearly trying to do is like when he's like, "Oh, I gotta wash my face in the sink." I'm like, "Oh, there's something behind me."
Yeah.
It's like that didn't get me because it's like the thing that's in 700 movies.
So obvious, but I think it's like fine. I don't know.
Some of the obvious things were like fun to watch. I also told these folks I do not go to the cinema often, and so I don't have very good movie etiquette. I was very loud in this film but I think
and taking notes.
I
Oh
was
my God.
I was taking notes, but I think that my favorite predictable moment was when they locked Jamie Dornan in
Yes.
the room
Oh, well, yeah.
that has no, he couldn't get out from the
Well,
inside.
the entire audience was screaming.
We were screaming.
What are
We
you
were like,
doing? Fucking dead man walking.
It's a soundproof room.
soundproof.
Oh yeah, they
won't
like,
be able-
oh wait, we'll put him in the soundproof room.
And I have the
And lock
only
him
key.
in.
He will lock the door. I'm sure he'll be fine. It was pretty great.
She like Rowena just said it so like he'll be fine in this soundproof exitless room that
No
I
windows.
I
No
have
one
the
can
one
get in,
key
no one can get out.
and it'll be fine.
He'll be perfectly safe.
Don't worry about
He'll
it.
get a nice rest. He'll be refreshed and will not
Wash
get
all that
murdered.
shell shock off.
And that was also when, right before they left that room, his son kissed him on the forehead, but did not close his eyes when he kissed him on the forehead, was still looking straight ahead, which
That was
I said,
the Mr.
that
Ripley
was,
moment for me.
yeah, same. Yeah, I was like, that kid's a psychopath.
Yeah, does
Just
that
wait.
kid become like, what is that?
For
Well,
sure.
because that's
It
the
felt like
that's
a
the-
send off to like that, kid becomes someone crazy.
That's the thing that like is the half idea that's from the Halloween party is that this is all his fault because he was blackmailing
Yeah.
Rowena Drake.
Yeah.
And
Because he's better at reading his dad's doctor notes than his own
Yeah.
father. He's like, well, this is clearly
he's-
a case of Munchausen by proxy, and this tea.
Hey, he's book smart. Come on.
He's
it.
book smart.
This
Right,
is what
he-
happens
Yeah.
when parentification happens.
Yeah, let's get into
Children.
it. Let's get into
We
it.
could have a whole psychological
I got that.
survey on the side.
Yeah.
You know, let children be children.
Listeners,
Yeah.
Let them
we're-
bob for apples.
He is kind of parenting up.
I mean, I don't know if I'd let them bob for apples because clearly it leads to death if you're reading the book.
I'm
Yeah.
never bobbing for apples.
Never again.
Never.
yeah, that's
never
that's the
really
other thing
good
that
idea.
pays lip service.
Very
So
slimy.
The child death
so we
or
can
Kenneth
so we can
Branagh's
so we
tongue
can
have
start
put me
segueing a
off
little
it.
bit is that in the book Halloween Party the victim is killed by being drowned in a bucket of bobbing for apples, and in the movie Poirot's like, you know what, I should just get into
should
the
let
spirit of
loose.
this thing.
I should
Let me let
make
my hair down.
Yeah,
sweet,
let me
sweet
let my
love to
mustache
these
down.
apples.
All alone.
Let me just
by
bob in
myself.
this empty room for apples.
There is
God.
an
Nothing
amazing
could happen
shot
And it just
through the
pulls on it
glass.
so long.
Yeah, where he's not even like trying to bite. He's
It's
like
the most
tonguing
sensual
the
thing in the
apples.
movie,
Like
yeah.
he's just like. And it's
Apples.
bizarre. And then because he's wearing Joyce Reynolds' coat, he almost gets drowned.
Yeah.
Case of mistaken identity.
Should have just killed him. Would have been done.
It would
Yeah,
be
actually, yeah.
Bang,
If you
boom.
really want to cover
Then
your
no.
tracks,
She already knows
kill
who he
the
is.
world's
Yeah.
greatest detective,
Yeah.
maybe.
It's like, oops, not Joyce Reynolds. Anyhow,
Oh shit! Oh bummer! Oh fuck!
You know how you could have figured out it wasn't her if she was an actual filthy little liar child like she was supposed to be.
so do you two want to try summarizing
Liar.
the book? Because you also watched the BBC David Suchet Poirot
We
episode
did.
We did.
I watched
Of
that this morning.
of Halloween Party. Oh, okay.
It was fun.
You can.
It was really fun. It's also really different in interesting ways.
Yes, but still clear enough of an like an actual
Still
adaptation.
clearly coming from that
An
world,
adaptation.
That book,
Yeah.
Is it set in the 60s like the book is, or
yes.
I think it's a
I think it's 40s because there's a lot of radios that people are
Yes,
listening
Yeah.
the
to.
costumes are more 40s than 60s.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Because I guess we should just.
but they're
quickly
still in
say-
Woodley Common.
Oh, Woodley Common.
They're
yeah.
still in Woodley Common.
Because
Yes.
before we get really into the plot, let's just say that this whole book is written as like Agatha Christie being like, kids these days, I
Yeah.
don't like them.
Yeah.
They do things differently.
long hairs and their flared trousers and
Yeah.
People
But
live in
also their
suburbs
parents.
now, and I hate it. People do this now, and I don't like it.
there are sex crimes now.
Yeah.
And,
And
mentally challenged people out and about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a
Yeah, everyone assumed it's a mentally challenged person.
is there any
Yeah.
way
Like
to
multiple
rehabilitate
times.
them? We don't know.
Yeah.
There's
It's
also
still-
like a weird, like Poirot now in like the 60s is like into like crime eugenics, where he's
Yeah.
like, there's biology that makes these people criminals, and they're like, maybe don't.
No, hold on, hear him out. What's he talking about? Let's see.
Yeah, so Halloween Party, the novel, is truly a cautionary tale of the middle class in the suburbs and the horrors that lie in
Preach
the.
it, Allison.
Yeah.
Preach it.
But yeah, I would say, yeah.
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 It's a whodunit. There's a is her last name Reynolds in the book too? Joyce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Leopold
So,
Reynolds. And,
yeah. So Joyce Reynolds is a little precocious child in the, I don't know if they make this point in the book, but in the BBC version she's dressed as a bumblebee, which makes her death even more humiliating.
Yeah. Little bumblebee lady.
It's pretty tragic.
It's pretty tragic. She's dressed as a bumblebee, and
Especially when they flash back to the scene of
yeah,
the murder. I was like,
it's
dude,
so
come
bad.
on.
It's
Brutal.
rough. It's rough. But they're at a Halloween party, which is an actual Halloween party for children that they throw in this suburb for the children.
Full of vegetable mallows.
Vegetable mallows, flaming snapdragons.
With the accompanying song.
With the song, so creepy.
Real quick, just that's such a letdown, is because Ariadne Oliver is such a fun fuddy-duddy in the book, and like Tina Fey doesn't even, like, her version of it isn't even anything. Like, there's not a character there.
No.
But like there's a whole bit in chapter 1 where she's just like, is this a yellow pumpkin or a vegetable marrow? I can never tell the difference.
I never thought about water before. It's awful. Awful stuff.
No, I truly believe that Kenneth read this book and was like, I'm in love with this concept. I love Mrs. Oliver. I love her apples and all her quirky little things that she says. I need her in a film.
I just need her to talk with me, but do nothing else.
Yeah, but then he kept reading Agatha Christie's novel and was like, this is the most boring book ever. I can't make this a movie. It's just about wills and the different names on what are they called?
Codicils.
Oh, the codicils, yeah.
The codicils.
There is a lot.
A lot of codicils.
A lot of wills and codicils.
Although I didn't mind it as much on the audiobook.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was like, oh, this is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess reading it, I was just
But
like,
reading
oh,
that, I would have been.
I think I think the thing that does make it a little repetitive in the book is just that everyone has the same opinion of, like, yeah, young men are going around. Everyone has the same point of view. It's like,
but they're different now. They're right.
They're right.
They're kind of right, though.
They're right.
Turns out.
The times they were changing, and they were pointing it out.
It is a wild young man doing what he wants.
But do we even know how old that guy is?
We don't. We were talking about
because he is old enough to
Michael
have
Garfield.
sired a child.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
we
sired.
gotta stop hanging out, Justin.
Just
That
like-
was too close.
Just
Or
like
sire
it's
a
about the
child.
horrors of the
Together.
middle class. He's this weird guy in the middle
A
somewhere.
fringe, yeah.
He's like a fringe guy.
He keeps a garden.
He keeps a garden.
Spoiler alert, where he buries his dead
Yeah.
people he murdered.
Because for most of it, the red herring is this au pair who's run away, who tried to forge a will.
Well, and real quick, we should say, because we didn't get that, Joyce is killed because during the Halloween party, she says, oh, Miss Ariadne Oliver, you wrote those books about the detective. I witnessed a murder one time.
Oh,
and everyone's like, Joyce,
Shut up, you stupid liar.
Filthy liar. You never
like,
did.
"No,
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was a murder at the time, but then thinking about it after, it was definitely a murder.
Joyce, we don't believe a word you're saying.
really?
You're lying
And
about
so that-
seeing animals all the time, Joyce. All the time.
So that's the thing that's so funny at the end when it's revealed that Joyce did lie and it was her friend who saw the murder.
Yeah.
Is that
I love Joyce.
is that
I know.
Poirot? Is
Justice
that
for
Poirot is like, well, every single person I talked to called her a liar, so I just had to assume she actually
Was
is.
a liar.
And she did not see
Even
a murder,
the-
but
even
maybe
the
her friend
vicar.
did.
Yeah.
The vicar called her a liar. The vicar. He
Yeah,
said,
Joyce
she's
Reynolds
not to
is
be believed.
is alternately called silly, stupid, filthy
Filthy
liar,
liar.
filthy little liar. Yeah.
Justice for Joyce.
She was my sister, but you can't
All
believe
she
a
did
word
was
she
lie her
said.
whole life.
She
and got
lied her
murdered.
whole life.
So sad.
And in that way, you could kind of argue she deserved it. No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We got him on record. All right.
Whoa.
He's pro child murder.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
microphone.
clearly Agatha
This was
like,
all to just get to this point.
To get to that
Got
moment. Got
Get
him.
me out of here in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Actually, the movie's good. Okay.
Really take him away
Okay,
now.
here we go.
We'll get to that short.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I was being drug on the handcuffs. But I got away. So I'm
You
fine.
gotta yell it out.
I had to yell it as I was being drug away.
Any other sort of like little
Oh,
Wow,
every
not
woman
gonna-
in that town is a
Lesbian.
in the
In the-
BBC version?
In the BBC version.
And the book.
And the book. The book, I mean, Her name's Judith Butler. I mean, like...
And there's
Oh
like...
yeah, the Ariadne's like cruise friend. She's like, oh yeah, we met on a cruise. And now I'm gonna stay with her at her house.
That
Her
does
name
sound
is Judith
That
Butler.
does sound like something
Yeah.
you would hear.
What were we saying?
Oh, cruise.
Yes,
Cruise
the
being a
cruise.
euphemism,
Yeah, every-
a clear euphemism.
Clear
Yeah.
euphemism
No,
for homosexuality.
every woman is a lesbian
Cruising
in the
cruise.
town.
Yeah.
It's like they all they just share such a close bond, and they live with each other, and they throw children's parties together, and there's just
You got to
there's
think
a
of
vibe.
reasons to be together.
Yeah.
No one has a husband.
No one has a husband.
All the husbands are dead.
They're all
Yeah,
banging the
as
weird
they should be.
gardener.
Wait, maybe Poirot should get to the bottom of that.
More than one of them are banging the gardener.
Yeah, and like a gardener too. Like he's so romantic and grows roses or
He's
whatever.
got long flowing hair.
Long flowing hair.
He's beautiful.
Weird
Yeah,
facial
he's
lines.
He's not a manly man. He's a
No.
beautiful man.
Perot even says so in the book.
Yeah.
He's like, I never
Yeah.
thought of a man as
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Until now. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
buddy.
That's pretty
And
gay.
his name is Michael Gardner.
The whole way he gets to it real quick is just sort of like, this is a small town where like nothing ever happens here. Oh, there were like 4 weird deaths. But like nobody
reel off
thought
all
about
these
those.
murders and mysterious deaths.
They're not
there was
connected
that
or
And
anything.
so they're like,
kid who
so-
died in the quarry. That one guy got knifed. But nothing ever happens here. Then that girl disappeared.
Yeah.
You're like,
And
oh,
she
Jesus.
it was too late.
Too late.
I told her how I felt. And it wasn't the same.
Right.
I'm like, girl, you were in love. Like, what are you doing?
And so this garden architect guy was working for the old woman who passed under mysterious circumstances. There was a forged codicil to her will that seemed to benefit this like.
And the
Or
lawyer
a
didn't
caretaker.
catch that it was fake.
Bad lawyer.
Bad lawyer.
Bad lawyer.
Poirot found it.
Yeah.
But it turns out it wasn't just fake to benefit our au pair girl. It was also fake to benefit our architect friend and
his lady friend, who is also Rowena
really
Drake.
cool.
Yeah.
Is
And
not
the house
Rowena
where the
Drake.
party was.
Oh.
There's a little bit of like intermingling. It's like, wait, who was that again and why?
So many
There's
lesbians.
a lot of names.
It's
And then-
truly Agatha's most thrilling tale.
Yeah. I did really enjoy
it
the
is
audio
really
book.
good.
I
It's
mean,
a lot
yeah.
of
I
cozy
did like the
time.
characterization of Miranda though, like who's Judith's daughter.
Yeah.
Who's like the one that actually sees the murder because she's up a tree like looking at squirrels, and like while she's looking at squirrels, she's like, "Wow, those 2 people are carrying away a body."
That's crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That
she's
might
like,
be a murder.
she's like, I was 9, I didn't know what murder was. Now I realize they were carrying away a murder victim.
I would have known at 9.
Yeah, I think most people
yeah.
at 9 would have.
Maybe it's because of the
Maybe it's a
suburbs.
Woodley Common thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cut off from the world.
A lot of people dying in the suburbs.
Yeah.
That's true.
What do you have to say to that, Agatha?
Do you think like Agatha Christie saw a photo of like Mick Jagger and was like, a beautiful man? I've never seen one before.
Never
David
thought to...
Bowie? Yeah.
Yeah, you should have gone with Bowie.
Well, they're both
Jagger,
pretty.
dude.
They're both pretty when they're young.
Mouth
David
is half his
Jones
face.
Bowie.
I've never seen a man like this.
Nice. All right, I'm looking at the
Wow,
time.
she's like frothing.
That's my like. Okay, I'm looking at the time. Final notes that must be noted.
My favorite part
Look at my notes.
of the book is all the drinks that are offered to Poirot in the beginning, where they're just like, his friend is just listing off, would you like rosehip syrup or beer, or what about ginger beer, or I have cocoa, my sister's a cocoa girl, I could combine
Lemon barley water.
yeah, would you like
Yeah.
lemon barley water, or do you just
Kinda,
want
yeah.
tea, or do you just want water? And I can actually make you a shandy, which is ginger beer in beer. And then Poirot's just like, yeah, that sounds nice.
Thank
Like,
you for
what?
reading the whole list.
Like,
Full menu.
like
Have you dined
truly-
with us before? We haven't really. Our specials are quite
Yeah,
low.
it's truly just so many drinks. And then, oh God, what was it?
My favorite part of the book was that little girl getting called filthy liar over and over again.
It was really funny
It's
every time.
really
they said it.
funny.
Yeah, no one had sympathy
Because-
for her.
Well, no, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you know, she
She was-
was pretty good." Also,
I
she was a
don't-
fucking
Liar.
liar, dude.
I don't want to speak ill of the
It's
dead.
like, yeah, I don't want to speak ill of the
Everything-
dead for 5, 4, 3, 2,
Everything
1.
that came out of her mouth was a lie. And it was just, I remember
Even her
when
mom says.
her
so.
mom says it, her brother said it, everybody said it. And I just remember the first time when I read it when I originally brought them to Justin was I would come into the store every day and be like, they called her a liar again, you guys. I cannot believe this. They're just calling her a filthy liar. Yesterday was her brother, today it's her mom, and now everyone in town, including the fucking priest, is like, she's a liar. Yeah. Don't believe a word she says. I hadn't seen someone like brazenly like throw down with a child like that in a minute.
Yeah. But it's also funny if the whole town knows that she's a liar, that Rowena Drake is still like, but I should probably kill her, right?
Yeah.
I should probably murder her just in case.
Just in case someone
too much.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, because so that's essentially the gardener is such a lover of like his own creation, right? It's like this weird narcissist thing that they're going like also it feels like Agatha Christie was like, narcissist? I could write something with that. Give me. I know what that is now. And then like like he needs money to keep up with the garden, and then like go put a garden on a Greek island, and then they're like, so I'm gonna fake this codicil, get a bunch of money anyways. It's like it's such a bizarre.
There's so like, much plot in the book that like is but why?
Yeah. Like that's
it's all red herrings left and right.
My memory from a year ago is like, it's the gardener guy, and he tries to kill the girl who actually did it, right? I remember that. But then it's like, and he fathered the girl who actually saw the murder.
And he's gonna murder his own daughter.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he called her Iphigenia in a reference to the Greek story.
There's just so much.
All pretty natural stuff.
It was really, really backloaded with a lot of
that last chapter is just dumping. You're like, is this garbage truck empty? No, there's like a whole other big pile of stuff we gotta learn, and it's great. That's what these are for.
I gotta admit, I did like that. It's like, it's so obvious. See, what happened was
narcissist, and
I do like how those
the
elements,
moment when he said, "Get behind me, Satan." Anyhow,
but like how those elements made it their way into the movie too, where it's like, okay, we have Mrs. Oliver, we have the garden that dies, and the beauty's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even connect those two gardens because they were so different.
Like, I guess.
Yeah, and then like the gardener's tools and the like Roman statue is what skewers, you know. Like there's all these like little kind of flavors.
Boo.
It's like Michael Green's like screenwriting note cards just got shuffled up, and he's like,
I think there was a garden.
I'll put that there.
There was definitely bees. I remember bees for sure.
Oh my god, the bumblebee costume.
The bumblebee costume.
Over.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the sum up. We'll start with everyone's vote. Like, is the movie good? Allison.
Well, my mom and dad liked it, so to them they loved it. I didn't like it because I'm really dumb at mysteries and I can never solve them. But I was able to figure out everything that was happening the second he had a cup of tea. So I think not for what it's supposed to be. No, not a good movie. But I do love Kenneth Branagh's eyes. But I don't know if was that supposed to be a yes or no question.
No, you can expound. This is your moment to expound.
I'm expounding.
Yeah.
Kenneth's deep, watery eyes, very good for film. They're so different. The book and the movie are so different, but not that great a movie. No.
All right, we got one not that great a movie.
Not that great.
Natalie.
No.
We've got a very simple blunt no. Tyler.
This movie is good. This is a good movie. This movie is good, bordering on better than good.
How is it good?
How?
What are you talking about?
Well, okay, just first of all, to be clear.
Yeah, you are insane, right? Is that what you're gonna say?
From Death on the Nile.
That's not what the question
was.
Which
is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in a theater.
This movie is not about Death on the Nile.
Yeah.
The question is about...
It looks good. It looks good. it actually, like, it's a real set that has, like, real production design with, like, real people interacting with it. I mean, it is actually shot beautifully. Like, it actually looks cool and interesting.
Sometimes the camera gets a little carried away.
I wasn't a fan of, like,
I'd rather have too much style than absolutely zero style. Like, I am
when it's
so
distracting.
happy. What is distracting?
It's so distracting.
I thought the back end was distracting.
The GoPro shot?
That was a little strange.
I will say this, like, watching Dead again this week and being like, it's so lean, so like the style is so perfectly calibrated, and then like watching his unnecessary like extra shots in all of his Poirot stuff, like all the overhead camera stuff and Murder on the Orient Express, like, come on.
Yeah, but that's
leave
like,
it to Michael Bay, who does it the best, bro.
These do, like, I don't know, there's like that famous shots from the first Murder on the Orient Express where like the train comes like right up to the camera and shit. I don't know, these they're fucking art pieces. Like it's a whodunit. Like, you have to go big and, like, go with a lot of style. I don't disagree.
Yeah. I will say the vibes were there.
Yeah, it's, like, totally
vibes.
acceptable, fine, good
movie. Vibes forever.
Yeah, I think this is, you would go see this movie, most people would go see this movie and have a great time. It's a lot of fun. It's actually quite good.
Okay.
And you're just you're simply wrong.
Yeah,
so
we
got
it's very good.
We've got an actually quite.
I didn't hear reason.
I said it looks
also,
great.
you
The
reminded.
Performances are great. Like, honestly,
I was
having
also
so much fun.
I was also reminded during that not helpful explanation that it was just full of, in quotes, A-list maybe actors in order to promote the movie when they didn't add or give anything to it.
I would argue this is the least distracting cast of
it
movie stars
very much is,
in any of these movies.
Even though
Yeah.
that's my opinion, having not seen those other two even.
Yeah, and they're just
and
those
still
are
thinking that this was extremely
disgusting.
distracting.
I mean, it's Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, Michelle Yeoh. That's actually
Michelle Yeoh's barely
Kelly Riley,
in it.
who I'm sure your parents love if they watch Yellowstone.
You don't know my mom.
I thought
Maybe
she
she
was
watched
the best
Yellowstone.
actor.
Maybe I feel like I'm getting Yellowstone vibes over there. All moms love Yellowstone.
I think my dad likes it.
There you go.
Tina Fey
So
was
he knew
distracting.
Kelly Riley. Tina Fey is
Distracting.
Tina Fey.
fine. She's okay.
I kind of think the Oliver from the book is the best. Because
Yeah.
even in the TV movie, she's got a cold.
She's in bed the whole time.
And I'm
it
like,
was
why?
Oh yeah,
Sexy
Because
I
in the
saw
book,
one
she's
clip.
so
She's
bitchy.
active and
And is like has like tips to give him, but like
Yeah.
waits to
Yeah.
tell him. I'm like, what are you doing? He's trying to solve a murder.
My favorite part in the book is when someone comes up and is like, "Yeah, I signed the thing. It wasn't a forged codicil," and then she waits a whole chapter to be like,
waits an
"Oh, by the way,
entire
someone just told me I signed that."
After he already brings it up,
Yeah.
then she says something after that.
But I
Crazy.
kind of like that because
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the
she
best
was,
version.
Yeah.
Instead
It's
of her
going
just
for
conning her
atmosphere.
friend.
This is an atmospheric movie.
Because it has no plot.
What? Did you watch this movie? Like, there's obvious. It is
Yeah, it was like a
literal-
Clockwork Orange.
it's
My
a
eyes were
literal-
wide open the whole time,
It's a literal
being tortured.
whodunit. There has to like legally be plot. Like, I don't understand how you could watch
I
this
literally
and
said
be like, it's
my
a
notes-
plotless. Is this like a Robert Altman movie
Is
where you
it?
just think
My
people
notes
like
said-
bounce from
So much
room to
better.
room?
Yeah, that would've
like,
been
there's-
so much
they
better.
follow clues.
You mean
he
like Gosford
interviews
Park,
people?
the whodunit?
Oh, that's right. Actually,
I said
Well, and they mention honey 5 times. And
I
that's
said
the
in my
clue.
notes, I get it, but it's too convenient.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of overly obvious, but like,
Yeah.
it's fine. It like
No.
totally
You
operates
don't want a
at
mystery
at
to be totally obvious, though.
It's a little obvious. It's a
I
little
expect
obvious.
more from Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's doing
I
fine.
expect
Oh,
more
real
from a
quick.
movie that has source material from one of the greatest authors ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, like-
by all accounts, it's not like one of her best books. I mean, I think
No,
we all agree.
no, it's super boring.
Like, it's
Boring,
it's kind of
but, like-
boring. Yeah. So
But that's
did
not-
you want like a
Save
straight
that for the
adaptation?
second part of
Did
the
you
question.
want, like the
So,
child murder?
Tyler
version of this?
Tyler said it's a great movie, and Alan says,
I think it's a good movie.
you
I-
said great.
I said
Good, bordering
to
on better.
better than good.
Whatever.
Yeah, which is nonsense.
Sure,
Bananas.
whatever.
Bonkers, even. I would say it's a bad movie, but it's not a fun bad movie in that it's kind of boring and just kind of not interesting to me in any way whatsoever.
It felt super long.
It
Yeah.
felt really long, and I
Yeah.
don't even think it was that long. I think it was like 98 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. That's fine.
I had fun shitting on it with you guys in the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
watching
was
it.
super
That was it. That was
Watching
fun.
it with you guys was the best part.
Was
of it.
fun.
Yeah.
All right, let me jump in real quick. I don't totally agree with Tyler's take, which is a little bit
That's because no one
maybe
does.
even fluffed up for the podcast, but I did like it. I did like it. Like,
Or his bad boy jacket.
you know, if this was on TBS on a Saturday afternoon,
I'd
fine.
change the channel.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys would change it. I'd be
Without a
like,
doubt.
fine.
Perfectly
So that's my take.
Unless I came in on the bobbing for apple scene, and I would have been
and
like,
I'd watch that.
what's going on here?
That is good. Unequivocally good.
No, that's
under
the best scene in the
bucket
movie.
view. Yeah.
All right, Allison, you start the next round.
Ooh.
Is the book good?
I found it very boring for a Christie novel, and I thought it was very strange going into it, slowly but surely, like, nodding off and just incapable of getting through it without pain, for me personally. But I do love the beginning and how it opens, and kind of like when you get to just see Poirot before he gets into his list mode, and you know, kind of see how he just kind of lives and is. Those are my favorite bits, and I think that's why, like with the movies too, it's like fan fiction. Like it's Kenneth being like, oh, I love this character. I want to see him eat little pastries and brush his mustache and do his daily routine, and that's the best part of the movies for me.
The routine stuff is fun.
Yeah, I
with the guy being thrown into the canal.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
that is,
That's
I
another good
think.
scene.
Oh, a good
Yeah.
thing from the movie.
Go fuck yourself, Tyler.
A good thing from
Yeah.
a bad movie. It is possible.
Yeah, it's
like
totally
it's just
possible.
deeply
Every bad movie has good shit.
charming.
Like
You
the
can
gull
tell-
eating the pigeon.
Yeah, that's your rule.
Yeah, like you can tell how much he loves Poirot, and I think for how much I love Poirot as well, I love that bit of it. But no, not my favorite Christie novel. A bit hard to get into. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Natalie.
If we could ride on vibes forever, I would ride the vibe of this book, because the Woodley Commons, like that's what I
Yeah.
want a mystery to be, is like weird English countryside, like
Yeah.
suburb, someone murdered someone.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm going for, but also audiobooks are my bag. I did start with the book because we had them, but it was so slow that I picked up the Hugh Fraser audiobook like maybe halfway through, and that was much more enjoyable. Like having a guy with a funny voice read me a story about some weird people who murdered and a filthy lying child
And a hot gardener.
and a hot gardener. That was entertaining.
Maybe I need to read.
Yeah,
the audiobook.
you should
You
check out the
really-
Hugh Fraser. It
it's
was good.
really good.
It was
Hugh
entertaining.
Fraser brings
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I will return.
Yeah.
With my
Yeah,
renewed comment later.
yeah.
All right, Tyler.
It's good. It's totally good. Good book. Fun book.
Cool.
no problem with
Alan.
Yeah, I don't know. I just did the audiobook, so it's kind of painted. It's like, even if someone reads a bad book but does it in a really, really great way, you'll take that feeling with you. So, like, the audiobook was fantastic, and as a result, that's how I came to the story, so I thought it was great. And also really funny. More funny than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that it's obviously not peak Poirot. It does feel like she's hitting a word count at some
Yeah.
Sure.
some ways, but like I just really enjoyed this idea, like an artist who's like late in their like a musical artist who's like late in their career. Like it's kind of like just interesting to be like, oh, you're trying to react to the '60s and like
Yeah.
not
Wrote
doing the
books
best
in
job,
the 30s. That's kind of crazy. That 30 years later,
yeah.
you're like.
But so I enjoy that, and like I enjoy the vibes of the setting. Like I said, I really like the characterization of Miranda, the small child. I just think that's a great character, and just like all the stuff with Ariadne Oliver being sort of like, this is a little mushy apple, but okay.
Yeah. No, I love her. I love her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that I guess she's in like 5 other novels. I'm like, I might read some of those other
Yeah.
earlier Ariadnes.
I do think the movie was correct in keeping it all on Halloween, though. Like one night,
Yes.
solve it all. That way, it's Halloween the whole time.
Instead of being like a
Instead-
week worth of like asking people is like, so.
Yeah, like this
Yeah.
book could be called Early November instead of Halloween Party, because it's not.
Early November.
Autumn.
Because even the TV movie speeds things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
2 days or 3
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
just a few days.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you're like
Poirot's like, I gotta go back to London. Give me a few days later. Like, let's keep it moving.
So it sounds like we're kind of conflicted about both of these, and they're both different experiences. But if you have to pick, as the title of our show causes you to, which would you pick as better, the book or the movie, Halloween Party or A Haunting in Venice? You once again get to kick off the round. Allison, go.
Oh no, they're such different planets that it's like you get to have the wonderful experience of being like Natalie, where she could like, you know, kick the door down and be like, they called her a filthy liar again, right? But then you get that like beautiful experience when you're in a movie theater and she locks the door to the soundproof room with no exits and everyone's like, oh no, you know. So I loved both of those experiences of just like the excitement about, you know, certain character things that happen like that. I think I don't know. I think I would rewatch the movie before I reread it. So for the vibes and the.
So the movie gets the slight edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because it's all. That is not worthy of clapping.
Yeah, it's a slight golf applause.
It's not really a win for you.
No. But like I think like if I want a Halloween feeling story, I would go with the movie, and if I wanted an early November story, I would go with the book.
Okay.
So that's
I'm actually going to jump it around because I think this would be interesting. Alan, go next.
Oh boy. Yeah, the movie is kind of trash. I'm sorry to say it. It's got some fun moments in it, but it does not save it being overwhelmingly boring and just tedious. I would do a tier list. I'd go audiobook, TV movie, book, then whatever the fuck Haunting in Venice was. Dead last.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good list.
So I was going to ask about where the TV movie fits in too, but so wait, actually, Allison, where would you rank the TV movie versus the other two?
Ooh, I think I agree with Alan's list, actually. I think the TV movie was very fun, and you get the, because it speeds things up a bit, and things like that, but they don't treat Mrs. Oliver well. They just put her to bed.
Yeah.
That was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, so it's very complicated, because there's just so much where I'm just kind of like snoozing on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Alan's list is pretty solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
But keeping to the
That's
ones
when I
and
shake
zeros
your
of
people.
it,
Yeah.
you give
About
the
anything? Smart
slight
people.
edge to the book, Alan?
Or audio.
Yeah, I had book material, so audiobook/book.
Okay.
Cool.
Book for sure.
NPR and I agree. Give us that movie.
Oh, God.
National Public Radio wants you to
Okay.
know this movie's great. And they're right.
Oh my God.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're just doing this
actually,
to hurt
to be
me.
clear, Nat, it was NPR who called the movie great. I said it was better than good.
Because of its connection to the timing of the war. Like, that is the example that it gave it
That is
emotional
true.
resonance.
Oh yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah,
that's
that's
very
like,
dumb.
come
I
on.
don't
Okay, so you
understand
just
that.
said you agree with the headline, but not the content of the article.
Ah,
so.
Typical millennial.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Kids
Wow.
these days.
It's a good.
Damn long hairs.
It's a lot. Yeah. They deserve to be killed.
Get a haircut, hippie.
Goddamn hippies.
Not you.
Yeah.
Not you.
Crazy. Like she was writing
Wow.
this book like
He just
during
keeps getting shrapnel.
I know.
the summer of
Coming
love.
through, getting some shrapnel,
Well, he
going
has like
back out
gorgeous
again.
long hair, and we're just shitting all over. I'm like, I don't want to. Not you, David.
For the listeners, we drawing back the curtain. We record this in the back room of Skylight Books, and
You mean we're not on a studio lot? No.
In a recording
our
Room boys.
our coworkers has been
Backroom
going
boys.
in and out, and David is one of our coworkers, a fellow bookseller, and he
will
just
never be
got
bookseller.
murdered. Just got murdered unnecessarily. All right, here we go. Natalie, lay it out.
Lay it out, Natalie.
Infuriate me.
Yeah,
Wow.
Set us
good.
straight.
they're good.
Okay, so I mentioned this to Alan earlier, and I was trying, like, with the idea of the entire conceit of this podcast, which is the book better than the movie, or which is better? This entire experiment with this source material, like, that question can't be answered, in my opinion, because they are
really
not
hard.
because but I'm gonna answer it, and it's the book, but because Tyler was like gearing up for a fucking Breakfast Club fist pump, and I was like, no, I can still answer.
Yeah.
I can still answer that it's the book. But with this specifically, like, I think that if you were reading this book with the intention of going to watch an adaptation of it, adaptation-wise, if that's what we're looking at, you can't. It's a failing adaptation because it does not adapt the source material like in any way.
Three names.
It takes some names, and like as we were talking, we pointed out a few other things that I said whatever, that doesn't count, like because at a certain point it doesn't, and so.
And I guess they lifted the Leopold blackmailing thing,
yeah.
gave it to the,
like
Give
they
it to another character.
they took like certain, they just, like you said, Michael Green threw his index cards in front of a fan and then picked them up where they had landed.
Right.
But and if you wanted to read the book like for a spooky like early November vibe, go for it. It was entertaining, but definitely do recommend the audiobook. I have, after watching this movie, I have no interest in watching the other Poirot movies. It did not, like, make me want to do that. The vibe...
As someone who enjoyed Murder and enjoyed this, I will say, this is sadly the high water mark for the series.
Yeah.
So.
And I did enjoy the BBC version, the Suchet version, because it... Like, I enjoy a good adaptation. Like, I like being able to dissect one, which is what's fun about this pod also, that you can dissect an adaptation and see how things differ, which you could do with the BBC version. Like, it would have been fun if we did that instead. But I think
because they make smart choices.
They made choices.
They change stuff. But you can see the
But it
reason
was a
behind
choice, and they're using the source material. The source material was, like, not used, and ultimately, which everyone should do, is... just read and watch shit with your friends and it'll make it fun. Because that was the only thing that really made this fun.
Was all of us at the movie theater.
At the movie theater, reading the book together, and talking about it. Like, that's what's fun about all this.
Me being like, Jamie Dornan kind of looks like Colin Firth now. Oh, now he kind of looks like
he's like a
Henry Cavill.
And the guy who played Maxim looks like a beefy Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, he does. I laughed out loud when you said that in the theater. So fucking funny.
Because he did.
He really does.
He did. So that's the book is better, was a more enjoyable piece of content to me than the movie was. But, and like Allan said, like, sometimes there are bad movies that are fun to watch. This one was only fun to watch because we were shitting on it together. If I had watched it by myself, I would have been like, I probably would have turned it off. I'm not gonna lie. I would have said, I'll ask somebody what happened.
Right.
I'm pro Poirot fan fiction. So I think
there you go.
I think rather than an adaptation, it's not an adaptation. No. It's definitely like a loosely inspired by a couple characters from the book.
And I also did say in my notes, I hope that Branagh does this for the rest of his life. This is the only thing he ever does.
Yes.
Because he's clearly having a great time. But also take the Poirot character and then just go tell whatever story you want. Fan fiction it away if Agatha's heirs will let you.
Get like the next generation Tom Stoppard to write the next script or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing we didn't mention was that Mark Gatiss he adapted the BBC version.
He's great.
And he's great. And so I saw that too and I was like, this will be good. Yeah. And it was.
It was.
And it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've said many times that it's kind of fascinating because it's like a James Bond adaptation, but they didn't even keep the name. Because like that's the thing, is like Moonraker the book and Moonraker the movie, like the moon is like the only thing that's like the same. That there is a moon in the sky. That's the only thing that's really the same about those two things. But like they didn't even take the name Halloween Party.
And we didn't say that there was one invitation because that's the whole part. Like on the probably on the back cover of this book, it says like you were invited to a Halloween party or something like that. And there is an invitation where Maxim was invited to the seance, and I was ready. I was like, okay, guys, this is it. The words Halloween party will be written on this piece of paper, and they fucking weren't.
You had one chance.
You had one chance, but instead he picked out the letters that spelled apple, and I was pissed.
Well, he was already tripping at that point.
That's true. That's true.
That sweet spiked honey.
The invitation came to life in his hands. He became a dog or something.
My favorite fun fact is how much of a freak Agatha Christie is about poisons. Like, she was obsessed with poisons and like figuring out how to poison people. So that's a fun little nod to her, at least.
Okay.
At least.
Yeah, sure.
Which I think we said this immediately after the movie. I was like, after reading Misery, I was definitely tipped to the like, oh, this bee's like poison honey, something gonna make the girl go mad. Like, that was just a little inside for the other better than movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, check out our last episode where we discussed Misery.
That is true. It comes up a few times. They mentioned it.
But my vote, I think, just goes to the book. I think it's a little more original.
You got a
If it's
very
a wildly
soft
different
maybe from Allison,
story.
bro.
Very soft.
So don't even.
I would rewatch before I rewrite.
Better than nothing.
So you're telling me it's a win.
So I think once again the book is triumphant.
Yay!
For books.
Yay, books!
Literature's good.
Although it sounds like a fairly marginal victory in this case, and maybe actually the BBC TV movie and just Hugh Fraser has won today.
Honestly, I can't stress enough how much he
Hugh
rules.
Fraser takes the win.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so that's the 5th time I've said nice. That's our cue to wrap it up.
This has been Skylight Books Podcast.
And now the music slowly creeps in.
Do the spooky outro.
Ooh, we're going. Oh, that does remind me. We wanted to do a quick. Sorry. We wanted to do a quick Goosebumps episode, so we might quickly toss out a little shorty where we talk about Goosebumps. Get in a real spooky season mood, because the next big movie we're doing is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, you guys are gonna do it.
So yeah, those are the next things on your reading/watching list. And now back to spooky times.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Skylight Books podcast series. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to check out the book featured in this episode, or others, please visit skylightbooks.com. If you're in the Los Angeles area, stop by for one of our live in-person author events. You can find a calendar on our website. If you like this podcast, leave us a review. It really helps us out. Our music is by Duck the Piano Wire. Till next time.